Book of Jubilees, chapter 34. And in the 6th year of this week of this 44th Jubilee, Jacob sent his sons to pasture their sheep, and his servants with them to the pastures of Shechem. And the 7 kings of the Amorites assembled themselves together against them to slay them, hiding themselves under the trees, and to take their cattle as a prey. And Jacob and Levi and Judah and Joseph were in the house with Isaac their father. For his spirit was sorrowful, and they could not leave him, and Benjamin was the youngest, and for this reason remained with his father. And there came the kings of Taphu, and the kings of Eresa, and the kings of Sargon, and the kings of Silo, and the kings of Gaas, and the king of Bethhoron, and the king of Machanassachar, and all those who dwell in these mountains and who dwell in the woods in the land of Canaan. And they announced this to Jacob, saying, Behold, the kings of the Amorites have surrounded your sons and plundered their herds. And he arose from his house, he and his 3 sons and all the servants of his father, and his own servants, and he went against them with 6,000 men who carried swords. And he slew them in the pastures of Shechem, and pursued those who fled, and he slew them with the edge of the sword, and he slew Eresa and Taphu and Sargon and Silo and Amani-Sachar and Gagacus, and he recovered his herds. And he prevailed over them, and imposed tribute on them that they should pay him tribute 5 fruit products of their land, and he built Robel and Tamnatters. And he returned in peace, and made peace with them, and they became his servants until the day that he and his sons went down into Egypt. And in the 7th year of this week he sent Joseph to learn about the welfare of his brothers from his house to the land of Shechem, and he found them in the land of Dothan. And they dealt treacherously with him and formed a plot against him to slay him, but changing their minds, they sold him to Ishmaelite merchants, and they brought him down into Egypt, and they sold him to Potiphar the eunuch of Pharaoh, the chief of the cooks, priest of the city of Elah. And the sons of Jacob slaughtered a kid and dipped the coat of Joseph in the blood, and sent it to Jacob their father on the 10th of the 7th month. And he mourned all that night, for they had brought it to him in the evening, and he became feverish with mourning for his death. And he said, An evil beast hath devoured Joseph. And all the members of his house mourned with him that day, and they were grieving and mourning with him all that day. And his sons and his daughter rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted for his son. And on that day Bilhah heard that Joseph had perished, and she died mourning him, and she was living in Caphrath, and Dinah also, his daughter, died after Joseph had perished. And there came these 3 mournings upon Yashar'al in 1 month. And they buried Bilhah over against the tomb of Rachel, and Dinah also his daughter, they buried there. And he mourned for Joseph 1 year, and did not cease, for he said, Let me go down to the grave mourning for my son. For this reason it is ordained for the children of Yashar'al that they should afflict themselves on the 10th of the 7th month, on the day that the news which made him weep for Joseph came to Jacob his father, that they should make atonement for themselves thereon with a young goat on the 10th of the 7th month, once a year for their sins. For they had grieved the affection of their father regarding Joseph his son. And this day has been ordained that they should grieve thereon for their sins, and for all their transgressions, and for all their errors, so that they might cleanse themselves on that day once a year. And after Joseph perished, the sons of Jacob took unto themselves wives. The name of Reuben's wife is Adah. And the name of Simeon's wife is Adulakah, a Canaanite. And the name of Levi's wife is Melchah, of the daughters of Aram, of the seed of the sons of Terah. And the name of Judah's wife, Badasul, a Canaanite. And the name of Issachar's wife, Hezakah. And the name of Zabulon's wife, Nimon. And the name of Dan's wife, Eglah. And the name of Naphtali's wife, Rasuah, of Mesopotamia. And the name of Gad's wife, Maacah. And the name of Asher's wife, Ijana. And the name of Joseph's wife, Asenath, the Egyptian. And the name of Benjamin's wife, Ijisakah. And Simeon repented, and took a second wife from Mesopotamia as his brothers. Chapter 35. And in the 1st year of the 1st week of the 45th Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob her son, and commanded him regarding his father and regarding his brother, that he should honor them all the days of his life. And Jacob said, I will do everything as you have commanded me. For this thing will be honor and greatness to me, and righteousness before Yahuwah, that I should honor them. And you too, mother, Know from the time I was born until this day, all my deeds, and all that is in my heart, that I always think good concerning all. And how should I not do this thing, which you have commanded me, that I should honor my father and my brother? Tell me, mother, what perversity have you seen in me, and I shall turn away from it, and mercy will be upon me. And she said unto him, My son, I have not seen in you all my days any perverse but only upright deeds. And yet, I will tell you the truth, my son, I shall die this year, and I shall not survive this year in my life. For I have seen in a dream the day of my death, that I should not live beyond 155 years. And behold, I have completed all the days of my life which I am to live. And Jacob laughed at the words of his mother, because his mother had said unto him that she should die. And she was sitting opposite to him in possession of her strength, and she was not infirm in her strength. For she went in and out, and saw, and her teeth were strong, and no ailment had touched her all the days of her life. And Jacob said unto her, Blessed am I, mother, if my days approach the days of your life, and my strength remain with me thus as your strength. And you will not die, for you are jesting idly with me regarding your death. And she went in to Isaac, and said unto him, One petition I make unto you, make Esau swear that he will not injure Jacob, nor pursue him with enmity. For you know Esau's thoughts, that they are perverse from his youth, and there is no goodness in him, for he desires after your death to kill him. And you know all that he has done since the day Jacob, his brother, went to Haran until this day, how he has forsaken us with his whole heart, and has done evil to us. Your flocks he has taken to himself, and carried off all your possessions from before your face. And when we implored and besought him for what was our own, he did as a man who was taking pity on us. And he is bitter against you, because you did bless Jacob your perfect and upright son. For there is no evil, but only goodness in him, and since he came from Haran unto this day, he has not robbed us of aught. For he brings us everything in its season always, and rejoices with all his heart when we take at his hands, and he blesses us. And has not parted from us since he came from Haran until this day, and he remains with us continually at home, honoring us. And Isaac said unto her, I too know and see the deeds of Jacob who is with us, how that with all his heart he honors us. But I love Esau formerly more than Jacob, because he was the firstborn. But now I love Jacob more than Esau, for he has done manifold evil deeds, and there is no righteousness in him. For all his ways are unrighteousness and violence, and there is no righteousness around him. And now my heart is troubled because of all his deeds, and neither he nor his seed is to be saved, for they are those who will be destroyed from the earth, and who will be rooted out from under heaven. For he has forsaken the Elohim of Abraham, and gone after his wives, and after their uncleanness, and after their error, he and his children. And you do bid me make him swear that he will not slay Jacob his brother. Even if he swear, he will not abide by his oath, and he will not do good, but evil only. But if he desires to slay Jacob, his brother, into Jacob's hands will he be given, and he will not escape from his hands, for he will descend into his hands. And fear you not on account of Jacob, for the guardian of Jacob is great and powerful and honored and praised more than the guardian of Esau. And Rebekah sent and called Esau, and he came to her, and she said unto him, I have a petition, my son, to make unto you, and do you promise to do it, my son? And he said, I will do everything that you say unto me, and I will not refuse your petition. And she said unto him, I ask you that the day I die you will take me in and bury me near Sarah your father's mother, and that you and Jacob will love each other, and that neither will desire evil against the other, but mutual love only, and so you will prosper, my sons, and be honored in the midst of the land, and no enemy will rejoice over you, and you will be a blessing and a mercy in the eyes of all those that love you. And he said, I will do all that you have told me, and I shall bury you on the day you die near Sarah my father's mother, as you have desired that her bones may be near your bones. And Jacob my brother, also, I shall love above all flesh, for I have not a brother in all the earth, but him only. And this is no great merit for me if I love him, for he is my brother, and we were sown together in your body, and together came we forth from your womb. And if I do not love my brother, whom shall I love? And I myself beg you to exhort Jacob concerning me, and concerning my sons, for I know that he will assuredly be king over me, and my sons, for on the day my father blessed him he made him the higher and me the lower. And I swear unto you that I shall love him, and not desire evil against him all the days of my life, but good only. And he sware unto her regarding all this matter. And she called Jacob before the eyes of Esau, and gave him commandment according to the words which she had spoken to Esau. And he said, I shall do your pleasure. Believe me that no evil will proceed from me, or from my sons against Esau, and I shall be first in not save in love only. And they eat and drank, she and her sons that night, and she died, 3 jubilees and 1 week and 1 year old on that night. And her 2 sons Esau and Jacob buried her in the double cave near Sarah their father's mother. Chapter 36. And in the 6th year of this week Isaac called his 2 sons Esau and Jacob, and they came to him, and he said unto them, My sons, I am going the way of my fathers to the eternal house where my fathers are. Wherefore bury me near Abraham my father in the double cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite, where Abraham purchased a sepulchre to bury in the sepulchre which I digged for myself there bury me. And this I command you, my sons, that you practice righteousness and uprightness on the earth, so that Yahuwah may bring upon you all that Yahuwah said that he would do to Abraham and to his seed. And love one another, my sons, your brothers, as a man who loves his own soul, and let each seek in what he may benefit his brother, and act together on the earth, and let them love each other as their own souls. And concerning the question of idols, I command and admonish you to reject them, and hate them, and love them not, for they are full of deception for those that worship them, and for those that bow down to them. Remember you, my sons, Yahuwah left him of Abraham your father, and how I too worshipped him and served him in righteousness, and enjoy that he might multiply you and increase your seed as the stars of heaven in multitude, and establish you on the earth as the plant of righteousness which will not be rooted out unto all the generations forever. And now I shall make you swear a great oath, for there is no oath which is greater than it, by the name esteemed and honored and great and splendid, and wonderful and mighty, which created the heavens and the earth, and all things together, that you will fear him and worship him. And that each will love his brother with affection and righteousness, and that neither will desire evil against his brother from henceforth forever all the days of your life, so that you may prosper in all your deeds and not be destroyed. And if either of you devises evil against his brother, know that from henceforth everyone that devises evil against his brother shall fall into his hand, and shall be rooted out of the land of the living, and his seed shall be destroyed from under heaven. But on the day of turbulence and execration and indignation and anger, with flaming devouring fire, as he burnt Sodom, so likewise will he burn his land and his city and all that is his, and he shall be blotted out of the book of the discipline of the children of men, and not be recorded in the book of life, but in that which is appointed to destruction, and he shall depart into eternal execration. So that their condemnation may be always renewed in hate, and in execration, and in wrath, and in torment, and in indignation, and in plagues, and in disease forever. I say and testify to you, my sons, according to the judgment which shall come upon the man who wishes to injure his brother. And he divided all his possessions between the 2 on that day, and he gave the larger portion to him that was the firstborn, and the tower and all that was about it, and all that Abraham possessed at the well of the oath. And he said, This larger portion I will give to the firstborn. And Esau said, I have sold to Jacob and given my birthright to Jacob, to him let it be given, and I have not a single word to say regarding it, for it is his. And Isaac said, May a blessing rest upon you, my sons, and upon your seed this day, for you have given me rest, and my heart is not pained concerning the birthright, lest you should work wickedness on account of it. May the Most High Elohim bless the man that works righteousness, him and his seed forever. And he ended commanding them and blessing them, and they eat and drank together before him, and he rejoiced because there was one mind between them, and they went forth from him and rested that day and slept. And Isaac slept on his bed that day rejoicing. And he slept the eternal sleep, and died 180 years old. He completed 25 weeks and 5 years, and his 2 sons Esau and Jacob buried him. And Esau went to the land of Edom, to the mountains of Seir, and dwelt there. And Jacob dwelt in the mountains of Hebron, in the tower of the land of the sojournings of his father Abraham, and he worshipped Yahuwah with all his heart, and according to the visible commands, according as he had divided the days of his generations. And Leah his wife died in the 4th year of the 2nd week of the 45th Jubilee, and he buried her in the double cave near Rebekah his mother, to the left of the grave of Sarah, his father's mother. And all her sons and his sons came to mourn over Leah his wife with him, and to comfort him regarding her, for he was lamenting her, for he loved her exceedingly after Rachel her sister died. For she was perfect and upright in all her ways, and honored Jacob, and all the days that she lived with him he did not hear from her mouth a harsh word, for she was gentle and peaceable, and upright and honorable. And he remembered all her deeds which she had done during her life, and he lamented her exceedingly, for he loved her with all his heart, and with all his soul. Chapter 37. And on the day that Isaac the father of Jacob and Esau died, the sons of Esau heard that Isaac had given the portion of the elder to his younger son Jacob, and they were very angry. And they strove with their father, saying, Why has your father given Jacob the portion of the elder, and passed over you, although you are the elder, and Jacob the younger? And he said unto them, Because I sold my birthright to Jacob for a small mess of lentils, and on the day my father sent me to hunt and catch and bring him something that he should eat and bless me, he came with guile and brought my father food and drink, and my father blessed him and put me under his hand. And now our father has caused us to swear, me and him, that we shall not mutually devise evil either against his brother, and that we shall continue in love and in peace each with his brother, and not make our ways corrupt. And they said unto him, We shall not hearken unto you to make peace with him. For our strength is greater than his strength, and we are more powerful than he. We shall go against him and slay him, and destroy him and his sons. And if you will not go with us, we shall do hurt to you also. And now hearken unto us, let us send to Aram and Philistia, and Moab and Ammon, and let us choose for ourselves chosen men who are ardent for battle, and let us go against him and do battle with him, and let us exterminate him from the earth before he grows strong. And their father said unto them, Do not go, and do not make war with him, lest you fall before him. And they said unto him, This too is exactly your mode of action from your youth until this day, and you are putting your neck under his yoke. We shall not hearken to these words. And they sent to Aram, and to Aduram to the friend of their father, and they hired along with them 1,000 fighting men, chosen men of war. And there came to them from Moab and from the children of Ammon, those who were hired 1,000 chosen men, and from Philistia 1,000 chosen men of war, and from Edom and from the Horites 1,000 chosen fighting men, and from the Kittim mighty men of war. And they said unto their father, Go forth with them, and lead them, else we shall slay you. And he was filled with wrath and indignation on seeing that his sons were forcing him to go before them to lead them against Jacob his brother. But afterward he remembered all the evil which lay hidden in his heart against Jacob his brother. And he remembered not the oath which he had sworn to his father and to his mother, that he would devise no evil all his days against Jacob his brother. And notwithstanding all this, Jacob knew not that they were coming against him to battle. He was mourning for Leah, his wife, until they approached very near to the tower with 4,000 warriors and chosen men of war. And the men of Hebron sent to him, saying, Behold, your brother has come against you to fight you with 4,000 girt with the sword, and they carry shields and weapons, for they loved Jacob more than Esau. So they told him. For Jacob was a more liberal and merciful man than Esau. But Jacob would not believe until they came very near to the tower. And he closed the gates of the tower, and he stood on the battlements, and spake to his brother Esau, and said, Noble is the comfort wherewith you have come to comfort me for my wife who has died. Is this the oath that you did swear to your father and again to your mother before they died? You have broken the oath, and on the moment that you did swear to your father was you condemned. And then Esau answered, and said unto him, Neither the children of men nor the beasts of the earth have any oath of righteousness, which in swearing they have sworn an oath valid forever. But every day they devise evil one against another, and how each may slay his adversary and foe. And you do hate me and my children forever. And there is no observing the tie of brotherhood with you. Hear these words which I declare unto you, if the boar can change its skin and make its bristles as soft as wool, or if it can cause horns to sprout forth on its head like the horns of a stag or of a sheep, then will I observe the tie of brotherhood with you. And if the breasts separated themselves from their mother, for you have not been a brother to me. And if the wolves make peace with the lambs so as not to devour, or do them violence, and if their hearts are towards them for good, then there shall be peace in my heart towards you. And if the lion becomes the friend of the ox and makes peace with him, and if he is bound under one yoke with him and plows with him, then will I make peace with you. And when the raven becomes white as the raza, then know that I have loved you, and shall make peace with you. You shall be rooted out, and your sons shall be rooted out, and there shall be no peace for you. And when Jacob saw that he was so evilly disposed towards him with his heart, and with all his soul as to slay him, and that he had come springing like the wild boar which comes upon the spear that pierces and kills it, and recoils not from it, then he spake to his own and to his servants that they should attack him and all his companions.